to visit my youngest daughter. She was 17. And she said, Mom, you are either dying of cancer or you're back on drugs. She hasn't talked to me since.
Because of their mistake and negligence, right?
Right. Now, on that part there, I stopped visiting her because when she seen me come out of the hospital losing 27 pounds in 3 weeks and no dentures in my face, she said, Mom, you're either back on drugs or you're dying of cancer. And I was neither. That's their fault, their negligence in the hospital. So it gave her so much anxiety when she seen me that I didn't want her to fall back in her grades. So I gave her space when she started her first semester in, it was Ryerson University. It's now called New Toronto University. They took the Sam the Record Man sign when they closed down. That's just old heritage for Canada down on Yonge Street, right? So she's now in New Toronto University. Her first semester she took law, but she's a very fit girl. She's 19 years of age. I let her play hockey. I let her play soccer, base, every sport but rugby because there's no equipment. She's now mastering in New Toronto University for rugby.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I was
She's
gonna
my
ask.
rock. She got me 7 years clean before I came to this shelter. I was 7 years clean of drugs for the first time in my life.
As soon as you came here, you relapsed?
I done it all on my own. I didn't go to detox. I didn't go to any doctors. I stayed home, got sick, went through the sickness all on my own. No detox, no program. Cold turkey, and stayed clean 7 years for that girl to educate herself and not have to see me a drug addict anymore.
Wow. I was gonna ask you, how do you wake up every morning and carry on?
As long as God lives, if it's God that lets me wake up every morning, I'm happy because I'm still here.
Yeah.
I was 17 years old. My brother was beat to death. He was kicked in the head so many times. He was gorgeous. He had all the girls after him. He doesn't even know what life was about. He got kicked in the head so many times. He would have been a vegetable if he lived.
Wow.
He was a gymnastic. He was an artist. He was going to be a very good artist. And I mean, like, he could do a three-toed dragon. And you would think he was just good at everything he'd done. And he had so many girlfriends. And my sister's boyfriend was a schizophrenic, and she left him.
Yeah.
And he was up there learning how to be a mechanic in Pefferlaw, and because she left him, he said, if you don't come back tonight, I'm going to put a beating on your brother. He beat him so bad that he had to take him to another house because he had guns and drugs in that house. So he moved him to transport him to another house, then called an ambulance. He choked on his own blood. If he had lived, he would have been a vegetable. That's how many times he was kicked in the head by 3 men.
At 17 years old?
I was 17.
Oh, you were 17.
He was 21. I'm the youngest of 4 army brats. So to see my mother almost jump on that coffin when the pallbearer was a mother, she had to bury her child. A child should bury the parent.
So true, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I want to get you.
That's what started me on drugs right there.
Yeah. Then you relapsed right there, huh?
No, that's what started me. I was 17. I started drugs.
Wow.
Started smoking pot.
Yeah.
Then started snorting oxys, painkillers. Sorry. And then he came from up north after he killed my brother and wanted to know where my sister was. I was downstairs. I was now 21 drinking beers with my buddies.
Yeah.
And I went up into my washroom. He slit his wrists, but the right way. He knew what he was doing. Very smart, educated man. He's the one that beat my brother to death.
Yeah.
Now he wants to know where my sister was because she walked out on him. She ran barefoot to a hospital in Pefferlaw, Ontario. No purse, no ID. She was so scared. She went as far as Florida. He found her and beat her all the way back with the butt end of a rifle. Come into my mother's house and said, where's your daughter? I love her and I want her back. Went up into my mother's washroom. She worked nights at Howard Johnson's. He slit his wrist the right way and it was full of blood. I had to clean that up at 17 years old so my mother wouldn't see it when she come home from work. That man ruined our whole family.
Is he still alive? Or?
That man's still alive. He was.
How come he hasn't been arrested for the murder of your brother?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. When he went to court, he got a charge with second-degree murder. They dropped it because they said he got charged first-degree murder. They dropped it to second-degree murder. And then because they said it wasn't planned, well, when you phone the mother of that boy and say, if you don't tell me where your daughter is, my girlfriend, I'm going to put a beating on your brother. That's not planned?
That's planned.
His parents have so much money, the courts dropped it to manslaughter.
Yeah.
He done 2 years in the easiest, it's called Beaver Camp Detention Center, and it's cabins.
He
It's
did only
the
2
easiest,
years?
huh?
He only got 2
Only
years?
done 2 years, and these cabins you can go out and walk.
Yeah.
You're not in a cage in a detention center.
Yeah.
You're in like little cottages. I've never seen pictures of it. It's called Beaver Creek something. He done not even 2 years in there, and he got to go out and run and exercise. He wasn't treated like inmates in a cage.
Great.
He was in the easiest place to do time. He didn't even go to the Joyceville pen, Kingston pen. He went to a camp for
Great.
2 years.